The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, a body backed by the United Nations, has released a report that should cause us to sit up and take notice. It essentially says what many of us have known is coming, that climate change and global warming has been caused largely and unequivocally because of human consumption of fossil fuel. It paints a grim picture of what the world is going to be like if we don't just cut emissions but also have reverse emissions and reduce emissions to a large extent. So what are the main points of this report which show that we are in a code red kind of situation? So number one, it says ongoing emissions of greenhouse gases at the rate that they're going is likely to breach the Paris Accord limit by the 2040s itself. That means in the 2030s and before the year 2040. So in the Paris Agreement, most countries of the world, including India, decided that we will try and limit global warming to 2 degrees by the year 2100. Well, that 2 degrees is going to be breached in just about another decade. It also tells us that because of this, there will be a rise in sea levels by up to 2 meters by the end of the century. That cannot be ruled out. It is also very clear that it is human influence that has continued to warm the atmosphere, oceans and land, and some of these changes are now irreversible and nothing can be done about it even if we cut emissions. Violent weather patterns will become more frequent because of this, but in a small glimmer of hope, there are low chances of really bad climate events like the whole collapse of ice sheets, which could cause global catastrophes. They're also talking about how heat waves, humid heat stress will be more intense and frequent during the 21st century over South Asia. On India, they say India will be facing irreversible impact due to glacial retreat in the Hindu Kush of the Himalayas and erratic monsoon. We're already beginning to see the impact of that. We saw it this year as well. The Indian Ocean warming will be at a higher rate than other oceans. That's bad news for a lot of our coastlines. And deep cuts in emissions of greenhouse gases could stabilize rising temperatures. That's really the only way. There's a virtual certainty that hot extremes have become more frequent since the 1950s and cold events are now less frequent. So the earth is warming. We're running out of time. We can only hope that governments around the world sit up and take notice of this report.